one minute.
There it goes. It says live now.
Okay. They're waiting for me. I don't know why they're waiting for me. Huh. Uh, yeah, I see it now. It says live.
There you go.
Hello, hello, everyone, or whoever's watching, or whatever. What is it? It's Monday, November 20th, and I'm Sandy Freschi, and this is Pamela Schneider, and we're really delighted to be with you today.
Yes.
And somehow my screen has frozen up. Oh, there we are. Okay, cool. Trying to get all the screens straight and moving forward in some sort of an organized sort of fashion. Cool. Okay. Well, our topic today is how to stay well during the winter months. And I don't know, how's the weather where you are, Pamela?
It is cold and it's been snowing and windy.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, you're up around the Great Lakes up
Yes.
in the Cleveland area and down here in Tennessee it's sunny outside, but it has been very cold the last few days for Tennessee weather. So it's deceptively sunny. But I just let my dog in and it was kind of chilly out there. So yeah, we're getting into those colder times and we're getting into cold and flu season, so to speak. And those of us who are really into alternative therapies and prevention rather than waiting to get sick to treat illnesses are interested in what we can do in order to stay healthy and stay vibrant and vital during these colder months. So we're going to talk a lot about that today. And Pamela, you're a health coach, is that correct?
Yes, I am a certified integrative nutrition health coach. And basically, what that means is I've learned how to help other people heal themselves from the holistic point of view. So, mind, body, soul, balancing your life, and all that good stuff. So,
Yeah, awesome. Plus, you're a Reiki practitioner.
yes.
Great, great. Yeah, and in the end, stay tuned because in the end, what we're going to do is a little energy balancing. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna do some Reiki and an energy balancing technique that you know, Sandy. I can't remember the
Yeah,
name of it.
quantum touch.
Yes.
Quantum touch. So yeah, I'm gonna hold some space by running energy and I think you've got some really great Reiki techniques so that we can use, and I'm really excited to do that because energy work is one of my favorite things to do. So so I love it, and I know a lot of people that I work with really love energy work and healing work in that along those lines. So so very cool. And I guess we're also going to talk a little bit about human design because we got to talking about the immune system, and there's something very important in that you can become aware of in your human design chart that will give you some clues about how you need to take care of yourself during these times when we're most vulnerable to colds and flus and things like that. So, so I'm going to just let you start, Pamela, with some of the things that you have, and then I guess when we get to some of the immune system stuff, I can jump right in.
Awesome. Yeah. So usually the reason why we get sick this time of year, it's a combination of the cold weather, but also we're busier, we're stressed out, we're not really taking care of ourselves as we should be. So one of the first things that we can do to really make sure that we don't get sick is to get enough sleep. That's a huge one. Your body regenerates itself while you're sleeping, and it actually starts around 10 p.m. at night. And it runs through these different cycles where it regenerates your organs and your different systems. So you want to get to bed at a decent hour, get at least 7 hours of sleep. Um,
Or more,
and
right? Can we
or
do more?
more. And yes, like some people need more. It depends on the person. Some people need a little bit less, but seven is the average number, I would say. And everybody's different. So just make sure you're getting like a good solid amount of sleep every night. Um, and then the next thing is water, drinking enough water. So if you're not hydrated, you're not going to be flushing out all of the things that would be affecting your immune system, um, all of the toxins, and also you want to drink extra water because of the heat that's going on around you, the heating systems in your homes. Those are all very drying.
Oh,
So,
so that explains why I've been really thirsty these last few days because
yes.
I've had the heat up higher than normal, and I just noticed this morning how dry my mouth was. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that reminder.
Yeah, and even drink more water than you normally would. And also, while you're sleeping at night, I like to have either a humidifier or even a like an essential oil diffuser. I keep mine right by the bed, and
Mm,
that puts some extra humidity into the air so that you're not as dried out when you wake up.
hmm That's a really good idea. I don't normally do a humidifier, and I do want to get a diffuser. So, can you talk some more about that, about the diffusers, or will you talk some more about that as we go?
Yeah, yeah. So diffusers are awesome. You can get them so many places online. Also, I sell them through doTERRA, but they're basically just like a little machine that you put some distilled water in, and you can even add a couple drops of your favorite essential oils. So for the immune system in the winter months to prevent getting sick, I would say put some On Guard blend in there. On Guard has been tested against antibiotics, and they're finding that it's actually stronger than antibiotics in a lot of the
Mm,
laboratory tests. So if you get that diffusing in the air with some of that, the vapors from the diffuser, you're going to have the dual benefits of the bacteria and antiviral benefits of the On Guard. Um, and then also the moisture that your body needs to keep everything flowing so that things don't get stuck in there and dry and cause
mm.
illness.
Yeah, what's in the On Guard? I can't remember exactly what essential oils are in there. Do you know that off the top of your head?
I don't, but I do have a bottle like right over here that I can
Okay.
grab.
Well, I asked that because the other night I was with the our local doTERRA representative here in Johnson City, Becky Russell, and she had us making these holiday sprays, and one of the sprays I made had On Guard in it. So,
Oh,
and she
cool.
talked about those the antibacterial properties, and I've been spraying it around, and it smells really great. So I was just curious about what's in it specifically. Like I've got another oil here, but I don't actually have the On Guard right in front of me.
Yeah, so this is the On Guard blend. Um, and it has, let's see, where is it? Huh,
I
doesn't
know
like
it's got to have. Let's see. Now I'm curious.
Now I'm curious.
Okay, all
Didn't
right.
we have it right on the side? Oh, here we go. All right, so orange peel, wild orange peel.
That's what smells so good.
Yeah, clove bud, cinnamon leaf and cinnamon bark, eucalyptus leaf, and rosemary leaf.
Oh, that's what makes it smell so wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's got like a woody kind of a spicy, warm. feel to it and an aroma to it as well. So yeah, and I'm actually looking on the site, and you can actually ingest it as well. It seems like.
Yes, you can put a drop in 4 ounces of water and drink it. You can put a drop in a capsule and take it. And that,
Oh, wonderful.
yeah, and when I'm starting to feel like I'm like getting a little bit sick or run down, I will do that maybe once or twice a day, and it'll knock it, whatever it is, it'll knock it right out of
Oh
me.
yeah. Yeah, and I wonder if that would be good in like a warm, steamy bath, like you were talking about the moisture and the keeping the air moist and keeping everything moist. That you know, you can drink it. Well, that would really be a good immune booster, even if you just had one of those oils, I bet. And
Yeah.
you could put it like in your water while you're sitting in the tub, with the steam coming up. Oh, I see a whole new winter spa treatment coming on for myself.
So my favorite way
Very
to
cool.
do that is to take a cup of Epsom salts
Mm-hmm.
and put maybe like 5 drops of my favorite oil on there, and then put it into the tub, and that helps it really mix in with the bath water. Cause
As opposed to just putting it on top.
yeah, because oil and water don't really mix so well, so this kind of helps dilute it and spread it around, and then you also get like the muscle calming effects of the Epsom salts, and it's very cleansing
Oh
too.
yeah. Yeah, I love Epsom salts, and so you want to make sure that you do the oils right before you put it in the bath though, so it doesn't, like, you don't want to store it like that, right? Just
Yeah, yeah. So as the bath water is running, I'll take a cup of Epsom salt and I'll drop the oils in it, and then I'll put it right in the bath. But I wouldn't pre-mix it and leave it.
oh
So, and that
great.
way you can do a different oils every time depending on how you're
Yeah.
feeling and what you're needing. So,
Wow. Winter spa treatment.
yeah.
The winter immunity spa treatment. I love it. All right. Well, I got you off track there. Keep going.
Well, it actually ties right in with the next thing I was going to talk about, which was managing stress.
Big,
Because
big one.
yeah, especially around the holidays, and also I just wanted to mention that tonight, my friend's husband, who is getting his degree to be a doctor, he is doing a webinar on the antibacterial properties and antiviral properties of On Guard.
Really?
Yes, and that's at 5:30 Mountain Time, so 7:30
Is
Eastern.
it online?
It is online, and I can post a link for that in the comments. So he's going to
Cool.
be going over his research and talking all about it. So,
Oh, that's really interesting. It's so good to hear that people in the traditional medical community are really starting to understand the value of these natural remedies and essential oils and the power of them. So, yeah, let's put that in the comments for anyone who really wants to kind of, you know, we're doing our warm, fluffy, this is good for you, intuitive. Everybody kind of intuitively knows about warm baths and you know how good essential oils are, but it sounds like he's got some science to back it up.
oh, yeah, definitely. And that's actually one of the reasons why I went with doTERRA when I was choosing an oil company, because they really do have the science to back it up, and the potency and the purity is all there, and they're making all these moves to make the healthcare industry, to have oils be more mainstream in the healthcare industry. So
Very cool.
I love
Yeah.
the concept of using them as medicine.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
but back to what I was saying before about stress. So during the holidays and the winter time, we get like really stressed out. Um,
Especially with the holidays coming up. You're right.
yeah, we're doing extra. We've got family around. And stress is, you can be eating well, you can be getting sleep, you can be doing drinking all the water that you want, if you are stressed out, it's still going to put a tax on your immune system. And so you got to do something to manage that stress if you want to stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And a bath is a great way to relax. You can add some lavender in there, some
Mm-hmm.
lavender oil or some peace blend or balance blend, but also meditation. That can be an amazingly powerful tool.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people have trouble sitting still and being quiet when they meditate. So I always like to suggest Insight Timer. It's a free app that you can get on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
And they have all different types of meditation. Ones with just music, some of them are guided, and they're for any type of thing that you could think of that you're going through in your life.
Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah. I love guided meditations. And can I just make a human design comment
Mhm.
on this? Because I know so many people who have difficulty with meditation. And when you look at, I have a chart here, well, a blank chart. When you look at these two centers up here, the head and the ajna center on your chart, and if you don't have a human design chart, you can email me, or I'll put it, I think you can go to my website and get the human design kit, and I'll send you your, if, as long as you have your birth information, I'll send you your chart. Or you can search online and get a chart as well. But these two centers up here, when they're white, take in a lot of the thought energy from other people around you. So a lot of times people who have those undefined, or they're white or not colored in on their chart, um, need to kind of be alone when they meditate. You know, it's not good to meditate in a room with other people's thought energy flying around, because you're taking it in, absorbing it and amplifying it and thinking about what they're thinking. Now, and the other people who have issues with really focusing on meditating are people who have the centers colored in at the top, and that's actually me. I have these two centers colored in, and what I found is that when you lay flat, if you're defined in the head and ajna, one of the things that we talk about in human design is how we're activated, like how our consciousness is activated by the neutrino streams, the information that comes from our sun and the cosmos and all of that. Part of the human design system involves astrology, so there's that aspect. Plus, there's the aspect that astrophysicists and quantum physicists are beginning to study around the properties of neutrino streams. So when they come into us, they usually hit us at the top, you know, at the crown, and come through and activate us with all kinds of information, and then take information out about us into the cosmos. So when you lay flat, those neutrino streams hit you in a different way. So the people with the defined head and ajna, with the fixed way of thinking and conceptualizing and inspiring others with their thoughts, get to have a little bit of a break from the universal, the info from the universe that's coming to them, that may keep them in their head and not really able to focus and meditate. So so regardless of whether you're defined or undefined on your chart, you can try it either way, or you can use I love those apps where you can just get like guided meditations or music, or just a timer or something like that. So cool,
Yeah.
cool. Now that was Insight Timer, right? That you,
Yes.
yeah, cool.
And even just meditating for, if you start with like a 2-3 minute meditation, even just doing that a couple times a week or once a day if you can, will be
Hmm.
hugely impactful on your stress levels. After I do that, I feel like I've just woken up from the best nap ever. I feel peaceful and calm and really focused and clear.
What is that? Is that on guard or focus? Or oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong one. Okay, I see you.
So, yeah, so manage your stress, do something actively to manage your stress. And there are oils for it, like you said, that can help keep you keep you calm. Lavender is a great one. Peace oil blend is really good. Also, we have this blend called Past Tense. And that one is amazing. It comes in a roller ball and you can roll it like right on your
I
tension.
haven't heard of that one. Past tense.
Yes.
Past tense.
It
Now I have to look
has
it up.
it has like wintergreen in it and some other of the minty kind of oils.
Ooh,
Yeah. And even just smelling it like straight out, like if you're feeling really stressed, one of my favorite things to do is just smell it straight out of the bottle and take a couple deep breaths, and it can just disarm you and like calm you down. It's so amazing.
kind of like smelling salts. I mean, with
Yeah.
the minty wintergreen, I imagine that just sort of disrupts the whole stressful thought pattern.
Yeah.
and and couple that with deep breaths and the oxygen, powerful combination.
Yeah, because we have these nerves that go from our the hairs in our nose where we pick up smell directly to the center of our brain where our emotions are.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so one of the quickest ways to change the way that you're feeling is to inhale a really strong and potent essential oil.
Yeah. And I seem to recall somewhere back in my early spa training, back when I was with another company that did essential oils, that I recall learning that the essential oils, the molecules in the essential oils are so tiny that they penetrate the blood-brain barrier.
Yes.
You've heard that, right? That it just,
Yes.
and that's why it's so effective in changing brainwave patterns affecting the relaxation response, or changing, or alert, making you more alert, or whatever the oil's properties are. So,
Yeah. It's fascinating how you can use them to tap directly into your body and change the way that it's functioning for the better.
mhm. Yeah. Who knew? Who knew that we had these natural? I think we knew, but
Yeah.
these natural ways, natural and powerful ways to really shift our well-being into a higher state.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff, and once you get into it and you start um, just taking good care of yourself, eating well, sleeping well, meditating, managing your stress, and then supplementing that with extra support using essential oils and understanding how your energy works with human design.
Hmm.
It can be a really powerful healing tool and a really powerful way to just live a life that you can enjoy. So
Hmm.
I
So
love
you
it.
mentioned eating well. Did you have some tips on that for us?
Yes, definitely.
Hey.
So this time of year we start to hit those comfort foods and eat a lot of heavier foods, and really, if you can try to stay away from the processed foods. That will be really helpful to you. But instead of trying to take things out of your diet, because that can be very limiting and make you feel like you're missing out on stuff, I like to just add in more of the good.
Hmm.
So foods that you want to try to eat more of this time of year to boost your immune system, keep everything running really healthy. Um, Definitely get some more garlic into your life. Garlic boosts your immune system. Um, and it has antiviral, antibacterial properties that are really, really strong. So, another thing that I do when I'm starting to feel sick, and a lot of people are grossed out by this, but it's really not that bad once you try it. Um, just taking like a piece of raw garlic and swallowing it
Oh
can,
my gosh, that sounds intense.
yeah.
There's no oil for that, right? That you oil with a garlic in it.
Well, that's when I say get yourself some On Guard or some oregano oil. You can get both of those from me through doTERRA. But yeah, if you don't want to do the raw garlic, you can just cook with it more, put it in more of your foods. Um, Definitely that'll help. And then Brazil nuts are awesome.
Really?
Yes. They contain a ton of selenium, which is a huge boost for your immune system, gives it lots of support, helps make it really strong. And they also contain magnesium, which are really calming this time of year. Well, they're calming all the time, but good for this time of year to have that more when we're all stressed out. Um, so with Brazil nuts, you only want to eat like maybe 2 or 3 maximum in a day because
Huge.
they're huge and they contain a ton of minerals in them. So you can actually overdo it with Brazil nuts. If you were to eat too many, you could potentially have an overdose. So
Wow, I didn't know that. That's fascinating.
yeah,
And
but
it
getting
also,
a couple into your day can really boost your immune system.
well, when as soon as you said that, I thought of, how a lot they sell the Christmas nut blends in the
Mhm.
grocery store, and they always have the Brazil nuts in it. That's the only time I ever see Brazil nuts is around the holiday season. And maybe somehow subconsciously they're in there. Maybe it's seasonal, but maybe they're in there to help us with our selenium levels and at this time of year, staying healthy and reducing stress and all of that. Interesting.
Yeah, well, it could be seasonal. I'm not positive on that, but that actually brings up a really good point. So one of the things I try to promote to people is to eat seasonally. And because when you're eating seasonally, you're getting everything that your body needs for that time of year, for your environment.
Mm.
And it just really puts you in line physically with everything that's going on around you, and gives your body what it needs, makes your digestion easier. So eating seasonally can really help.
Interesting. So, in the case of coming into this time of year, seasonally would mean things like root vegetables, things that are in season now, and avoiding, or well, you don't like you encourage us to add, but I'm not even sure what a summertime. Watermelon is probably not a seasonal
No,
fruit.
no,
Okay.
no.
We'd probably be okay with apples at this time, but not watermelon.
Yeah, so apples, root veggies, like you said, leafy greens are usually in
Mhm.
season. Um,
Leafy greens are almost always in season, right?
yes,
Eat your greens. I love
yes,
greens.
yes. And that was on my list here too of things to eat for your immune system, especially spinach.
Mm.
Um, Leafy greens, they usually give you the B vitamins that you need to keep your mood up this time of year. So, and they're very cleansing and detoxifying and alkalinizing. So,
And they really, I like to add them to my soups. They add that extra dimension of flavor and texture, I guess, to the soups in the winter time.
yeah, definitely. And then also, even though they're not really in season, um, citrus fruits.
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so go into the store buying some orange juice, that's not what I'm talking about because that will give you a lot of sugar and it doesn't contain the whole fruit. So if you're going to do citrus fruits, definitely go buy some oranges, some lemons, some limes, stuff like that, and get the whole fruit.
That's really good to know. So what you're saying is that you're not going to get the full benefit from the orange juice that you would. eating an orange.
Yes. In
Yeah.
fact, the way that orange juice is processed nowadays, it's just not it's not as pure as we think it is. There actually um, a lot of times are added sugars, and you're not really getting the a lot of the vitamin C is in the white part that's in between the fruit and the peel.
Mm.
And whenever you eat fruit, you want to get the pulpy, the mass of the fruit. So, and that will help your body with the sugar levels, and it'll help minimize the sugar
The
spike that
ups,
can
yeah, the spikes. So basically the pulp is really where the fiber is. Is that right?
yes, yes. So getting
So,
that
and the
fiber.
fiber, yeah, helps you to you don't it prevents or what does it do? It keeps you from absorbing all that sugar all at once. Do I understand that correctly? Is that my
Yes.
Googling? Is that
Yes,
even close to accurate?
definitely. And also there are enzymes in the fruit that help you break down the sugar in a way that's easier on your body. So
Oh,
getting the whole fruit, well, as much of it as is healthy to eat. So like with an apple, I wouldn't say, eat the seeds in the middle, but getting as much of the whole fruit as you safely can is the best way to do it.
awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Great. Great. Anything else? What else?
Well, some big offenders for the immune system that I just want to mention. Oh, also ginger is another great one for
Oh, I
digestion
love ginger.
and your immune system. But some big offenders for all of that if you can avoid at any cost is sugar. When you have sugar, any type of sugar, it doesn't matter if it's brown sugar or cane sugar, they're all sugar and they're all actually a drug. And every time that you ingest it, it throws all of the processes in your body out of whack. Throws your hormones off, your digestion. It's horrible for your digestion. It's terrible for your mood. It makes your stress levels worse. So that's like my number one offender for things to try.
So, are you talking about processed sugar? Or are you talking about the sugar that we get from fruit? Or, what's is it all of it? Is it a little bit? Or how do we, how do we navigate coming into the season of sweets? I mean, we started with Halloween, right? The kickoff was Halloween, and then the eating holiday is coming up on Thursday,
Yeah.
with the pies and the cakes and whatever dessert there is. And then we go into like the candy holidays, the Christmas candy and whatever other holiday candy there is, and all of the desserts, and then that rides us all the way through to Valentine's Day.
Yeah. We've got like 4 months of sugar.
Yeah, so what are we going to do here? Can we have a little? What do you suggest?
You can have a little. I don't suggest, limiting yourself so much that you're not enjoying life and having fun. Just be aware. So fruit is, I don't even, it is sugar, but I don't even count it as sugar when I talk
Oh,
about sugar.
really?
Yeah,
Good.
because fruit is like vegetables. It's a whole food that grows from the ground, that has everything in it that your body needs, vitamin, antioxidant, mineral wise. So that's something that you definitely do need a variety of. But processed sugars, cane sugar, white sugar, brown sugar, evaporated cane juice, all of those types of sweeteners that are man-made, those are definitely the biggest offenders, the hardest for your body to process. And um, if you can avoid them or have as very little of them as you can, or even That's why I'm doing a cooking class with a fellow health coach
Mm.
that I work with here in Cleveland named Rachel Ruthenbeck. We're doing a cooking class on December 2nd in the
You
Cleveland
doing it
area.
online or live?
It's going to be live at a local yoga studio called Studio 11. And it's all about healthy holiday cooking and how to make everything that you want to have without any sugar or extra oils or too much salt or anything in there that's bad. It's all, guilt-free, really healthy holiday
Oh,
cooking.
wow. Wow. I wish you could do that. I wish there was a way you could set up a camera and live stream it. That would be really cool and get all of us in our kitchens like cooking virtually and it would be fun. Maybe the next one.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking I'm gonna try and record it. So,
Awesome. That would be so great.
yeah.
Wonderful. All right. So fruits are good. Pumpkin pie is not a fruit.
No,
Okay.
no. But you still want
Pumpkin
to
pie is
enjoy
not a
life.
fruit.
So
What's that?
you still want to enjoy life. You don't want to be restricting yourself so much that you're miserable and you're like looking at the pie going, "Oh, I just can't have any." So, have a piece, but have a small piece. Don't have like 5 pieces and then a bunch of other candy or pie. So have some, but moderation.
And a
And
Brazil nut.
yes, and balance it out with some other healthy foods. Eat lots of vegetable dishes when you sit down to your meal. Have a salad, have some dark leafy greens with everything else. And just add in a lot of the good so that the little bit of the bad that you do have isn't totally throwing you off and it's not the whole focus of what you're having.
Wonderful. That's
Yeah.
great. Great advice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Other
So,
things, if you're making your own pies, you can use other things to sweeten with, such as
oh,
dates or stevia. I prefer dates because it's more of a whole food, but stevia is a decent one. It's plant-based. It doesn't spike your blood sugar so much. Agave nectar's okay. Still better than sugar, but not the greatest. Um, and what else? Figs. I think people use figs. So,
ooh.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
there's a little
there's a
feedback. Do
little
you hear
feedback.
that?
Do you hear that?
No.
Huh.
Huh.
I'm wondering where
Nope.
that's
I'm wondering
coming
where that's
from.
coming from.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Are you still getting it?
Yes, I'm getting it
Yes,
big
I'm getting
time.
it big time.
Do you
Oh.
have
You have
the
the
sound on
sound on
your
your
YouTube
YouTube
stream
stream on.
on?
Nope.
Really weird. I
Oh,
don't
that's
know
really weird.
why
I don't
it's
know
happening this
why it's
way.
happening this way.
I can put some headphones in if that would help.
Do you want to try it?
Do you want to try it?
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I know feedback is
So,
like the
So,
worst.
well, I'm not even going to
well,
talk
I'm
into
not
you,
even going to talk into you,
and we'll see if it
and we'll
works.
see if it works.
Okay.
I love
I love
technology.
technology.
Right. All right. And my headphones are all tangled. Oh, jeez. Is that any better?
Let's see if, yeah, that
Okay.
works. There's no feedback now. Yay!
All right. Cool.
Phew. All right. So we talked about food. We've talked about sleep, hydration, stress, reducing stress.
Yes.
What else? Anything else that from your wisdom that we would benefit from in these winter months of taking care of ourselves?
Yeah, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the lymphatic system.
Okay.
Yeah, because the immune system is directly affected by the lymphatic system. So if your lymphatic system isn't, it's a system that it's like a chain of tubes throughout your body that help move toxins out of your body. So if that gets blocked up, then your immune system will get bogged down and you'll get sick. So a couple
Yeah.
ways. Yeah, and you can keep it moving. Exercise is a great way to keep it moving. Every time, I don't even look at exercise now as like a way to lose weight or to stay in shape. I think, all right, I'm keeping my lymphatic system moving so I don't get sick. Another way that other ways that you can keep your lymphatic system going is dry brushing your skin. You can get a dry brush online or at a health food store. And before you take a shower or a bath, you can dry brush your skin. And that helps move the lymph. It makes your skin nice and soft and has all these other benefits. And
So when you say dry brushing, that's about like using a natural bristle brush, right? And then sort of moving the lymph down. Are you being
yes,
that scientific about it? Moving
yes,
up the legs and into the major lymph nodes?
yes. And there are actually, you can Google videos on I think YouTube on how to dry brush properly. Because when I first started, I was doing it wrong and like it wasn't as effective as when I learned how to do it the right way. So if you're going to do
Cool.
that, definitely Google it and check out the proper way to do it, and Google for how to dry brush for your lymph, because it is important in which direction you move things.
Yeah. Because the lymph really, all of the lymph, it's like a network of where it moves that fluid into it's your it's the it's like a body-wide detox network, and
Yes,
there are these stations, you know, at all the creases in your body, and it has to be moved into those. The lymph has to move into those major nodes at these creases in your body in order to be able to I guess get eliminated, right?
yes, exactly. And if we're not moving around enough and we don't do enough to keep that moving, some people it's slower than others naturally, but it can become almost sort of stuck and blocked and not really moving so well. And that's when it'll start to affect the immune system and we'll get sick. So I like to exercise a couple times a week, even for 15, 20 minutes a day. Dry brushing really helps. And also when you're taking a shower, I take really warm showers, but at the end, I will switch it to cool water.
Oh,
Yeah, and going from hot to cold gets your lymphatic system moving.
uh-huh. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now, what about those of us who like to get in the tub with the lavender or the On Guard or those of us that are going to
Well,
be doing that winter spa treatment? Would that help the lymph system with the Epsom salts?
yes, because Epsom salts are very, very cleansing, so that will definitely help too. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Cool.
there's also a yoga pose that you can do that helps to move the lymphatic system. And I don't know what it's called, but you lay on your back and you put your hands above your head. I don't know if you can see, but above your head.
On your
And
back, over your
yes.
head.
And while you're doing that, you want to take your legs and bend them and put them out to each side on the floor so that they're bent.
Okay.
Your knees are bent, but your feet are touching, and each
Okay.
leg
Yeah,
is
so the
laying on
soles
the
of the
floor.
feet are touching. I'm probably going to get a cramp here sitting in the chair trying to do this.
Yeah, and that just like opens everything up so that it can flow a little bit easier.
All right. And then probably along with that is breath and relax. That would be a good time to meditate.
Yes.
That,
Yeah.
when you're on
2
your
for
back
1.
in that position, breathing.
Yes.
Very cool. Yeah. What else? Anything else you want to talk about with the immune system? I've got human design stuff to add to that.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, well, the each of these energy centers on the chart are they're related to it's at this these centers, these geometrical shapes are actually uh, a refined version of the Hindu chakra system. Since we're talking about yoga poses and stuff like that, I'm sure that people who can relate to that will relate to the chakra system. So the spleen is actually would have been actually part of the uh, the solar plexus chakra in the seven centered system, and the spleen it would be on your chart on the when you're looking at your chart, it's on the left-hand side. This is backwards, so that's why I wanted to say that. It's on the left-hand side of the chart, the triangle to the left of the sacral center. And it governs the immune system. Like each of the chakras govern an organ, a set of organs, and part of the nervous system and all of that. So the spleen governs the immune system, and we could talk for days about what that means in terms of decision making and all of that. But you'll notice when you look at your chart that it's either white or it's colored in. And this is just like a basic template chart. There's no coloring in here. But if it were colored in, it would be brown. And everybody has an immune system, whether you've got a defined spleen or whether you have an undefined spleen where that center is white. And there's just a different way that you process that energy and the information that's being processed through that organ, or in this case with the spleen, through the lymph system. And it's important to understand how you process that energy and information and how you work with your immune system in the way that whether or not your spleen is defined or undefined. So if you're defined in the spleen, if that triangle is colored in, when I first got my first human design reading, the person who read my chart looked at my spleen center, it's colored in, and she said, "You have a cast iron immune system." So I thought, oh, cool, I can take anything. And I do, I rarely get sick. And it means, though, that when you have that defined spleen, you have a consistent sense of vitality. The spleen center is the center for your vitality. It's the center, like you said, for the immune system. And if it's colored in, if it's defined, you're radiating out all the time, consistently, how vital and healthy you are. So you would think, oh, that's really great, right? That you can, you have that defined and you probably rarely ever get sick. But what happens with someone with a defined spleen sometimes is that you'll feel you may feel like you're getting sick, but you just have this uncanny ability to override it. The spleen is about survival. It's the oldest center that we have. It's related to the primal knowing, the primal instinctual knowing that's akin to the way that wild animals work. So like when we were cavemen, it was probably very beneficial for us to be able to override those messages that our body is giving us, like, slow down, you're starting to get a runny nose, maybe you're catching a cold. But when you're being chased by the saber-toothed tiger, you don't really want to stop and wipe your nose or go and take a nap or get a cup of tea, right? So we still have that primal, that primitive part of us that makes us resilient in that way, and healthy in that way, or able to survive and stay vital constantly, for those who have it defined. For people who are undefined, it's a little bit different. You're a little more sensitive. But getting back to people who are defined, because you can override that, because you still have that instinct that, you know, when I'm under stress, I don't have time to stop and wipe my nose. Things will, little things in your health will tend to get out of balance and get dramatic before you ever really stop to pay attention to them. Or that's the tendency. So you want to be aware of that, because you'll want to do preventive things and have regular checkups so that those little things don't get out of hand. And still, they still might. And in that case, thank God for medical intervention when that happens, because it really can happen that way. And for someone who's defined in the spleen, it's hard to recover once you get sick, because you're usually sicker than most people with the undefined spleen, because you have an undefined spleen, right?
Me? Oh no, I have a defined spleen.
Oh, you do. Good.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, people with the undefined spleen have this natural kind of inner insecurity about their own well-being, or they can have that, because they'll feel every little thing that goes on, and they don't have that consistent sense of vitality that the people with a defined spleen just radiate. And a lot of times people with an undefined spleen will gravitate toward people with a defined spleen, because there's that sense of, I feel good around this person. I may not like this person, but I feel good around them. And that has its own relationship dynamics to it. And that's a whole other thing. So when you're undefined, you're really, any place where you're undefined, you have the potential to be wise about what you're taking in from other people. So when it comes to health and wellness, you have this potential as someone who's undefined to feel whether or not other people are well or sick around you. So if you're not aware that that's what you're doing, and you're feeling every little thing in your body, you may not understand that some of those things really aren't you. So if we wanted to get kind of into the realm of psychic and intuitive, understanding how people are psychic and intuitive, if you're undefined in the spleen, you really have this potential to be somewhat of a medical intuitive, because you can feel all this other stuff. But if you're not aware of it and you're internalizing these feelings, this sense of I'm not feeling well, and it's actually not you, you could be you could kind of tip over into the realm of hypochondria. I mean, that's the extreme of it. So one thing that a person with the undefined spleen needs to realize is that first of all, that they benefit best from these interventions that we've been talking about, like the ones that we've been talking about today. And most people who have the undefined spleen, if they're really paying attention to that, are already probably have a lot of these natural practices, these preventive practices in place, because it doesn't feel good to them to feel unhealthy. It feels worse to them and less tolerable than it does for someone who's defined in the spleen. And the second thing that they need to really begin to discern is whether or not what they're feeling in terms of health and well-being is actually them, or whether it's someone in their environment. And of course, if it's someone in their environment who's radiating out, like if they're with somebody that has a defined spleen and that person doesn't necessarily have the healthiest lifestyle, that person's not really great for them to be around, because they're going to feel all that. So, and that's where, the whole human design strategy, the whole thing of following your strategy and really becoming aware of how other people's influences are affecting you, other people's energies are affecting you, and as you begin to do that, then you can understand, well, this is the dynamic of my spleen. This is how I need to deal with this, you know. And like I said, the whole undefined defined spleen relationship is a class in itself. But once you become aware of how you work, whether you have consistent access to knowing, to that feeling of vitality, or whether it's inconsistent and you need to kind of, you're paying more attention to it, let's put it that way. Either way, these practices that we're talking about can really benefit both people. But for the people who are defined, they really need to understand that they can't push. If they push it, it's going to get bad. It's going to get, you know, their health is going to deteriorate in a more dramatic way because they'll let things go longer. Hence the need to do these little things, these interventions prior to that, so that they don't let themselves go. And for the people with the undefined centers, the undefined spleen center, the power to really discern whether or not you're internalizing other people's bad health can really take you a long way in your, because you can do these practices, you can do all of this prevention and still feel bad if there's somebody who's radiating ill health and lack of well-being in your environment. So that's all I have to say about that. But everybody has a spleen, and everybody benefits from prevention, especially in this cold weather. But we benefit in different ways, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and it seems like it can be so powerful once you look into how your individual energy works and interacts with other people's. Just to have that knowledge can be so powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really can be, because once you, if you're undefined, especially in any of the centers where you're undefined, you know, when you become aware that what you're feeling is not yours, that's really empowering.
Yeah.
And then you can do something about it in terms of not holding on to it, not internalizing it, maybe even not hanging around with those people. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. Oh, I'm looking at the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
We've been going a whole
And
hour.
we want to do something with energy, don't we?
Yeah.
So, what are we doing?
Well, I could get some Reiki energy going and just project it out and send some healing vibes from the universe to everyone.
Okay. And
But
when you do that, go ahead.
I'm like dying to learn more about how you do things.
Well, basically, with quantum touch, it's more of a breath technique where we're inhaling and exhaling and bringing energy up and out through the hands and creating a field. So what I was thinking is, as you're sending energy out, I'll hold the container to sort of amplify the resonance of the energy.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And do we want to have people, like we were talking about the thymus? Do we want to do something with holding the thymus, the chest, and the? Okay.
Yeah. So
all right. So
because we didn't really mention too much before, the thymus is like right near the heart, and that's where your immune system is. So as we're doing this, just kind of put your hands there. I don't know if you can see. And that'll send it some extra love right to your immune system. So I'm going to get the Reiki energy going. It takes me a minute or two.
And I'm just breathing and focusing and holding everyone who's watching now or in the future in this bubble of high frequency. But it's containing all this Reiki, the Reiki energy that Pamela is bringing up Feeling all of this swirly energy between my hands. Okay, everybody just breathe and relax. Yeah, there was a lot of sludge and sluggishness, and now it's opening up. And I'm focused on the whole immune system, and the lymph network.
And I'm just channeling the healing Reiki energy to help balance everything out.
And are they supposed to receive it and integrate it into where their hands are?
So to receive it, you just want to be relaxed in like a meditative kind of state and just be open to receiving it.
Okay.
And Reiki has the ability to, because it's energy, able to transcend space and time and just transfer the energy directly to anyone that's watching this.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. I just assumed it. Sorry. Same thing with the quantum touch and all distant healing, really.
So now I'm just going to do a quick sweep of the aura for everybody. Just to kind of move that energy out. Anything that's stuck or negative or blocked. And this is one of the things that I do in my Reiki healing sessions is I clear the aura of anything like that, and also any psychic debris that might be hanging out from any stress or tension.
Or anything you've absorbed in your
Yes.
energy field, all those open centers.
Wow, that was pretty powerful.
Mm-hmm. I felt that. It felt like there was just, for me, what I felt was just this swirling of energy, almost just a lot of energy, just moving and swirling and sort of almost chaotic, but it had a flow to it. And then, when I said everybody take a deep breath and relax, it sort of relaxed. And then there was like a density, that a gluey type of feel to the energy. And then that started to clear. And then it really opened up and started to move as you were like doing the clearing of the aura and all of that. So be interesting to find out what other people feel.
Yeah.
So feel free to put that in your in the comment box.
Awesome. And also, make sure you drink a glass of water, a glass of cool water after you view this, because
Yes.
Reiki can change your energy, and you kind of need that grounding afterwards to bring you back to yourself. And also, it's very cleansing, so that'll help move out any toxins or anything that you've let go of.
Yes, good point. Thank you for that. I see we have a couple of comments in the chat, and Mellow Mike was asking, what about sugar in carrots and oranges? Obviously, we got so into talking that I didn't check the check the chat. And we talked about oranges, and the sugar in carrot. We talked about that because fruit is good, and pumpkin pie is not necessarily a fruit, but you can have a little. And you put that carrot in. Is that you, Pamela, that put carrot in oranges or Whole Foods? Great. And thanks, George, my favorite business coach, for coming in and saying hi, and just popping in to give support. And I really appreciate that. So cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yay. All right. Well, we've been on here over an hour.
Yes.
Who knew we had all this to talk about?
Right.
This was a lot of fun.
It was
Thank
fun.
you.
Yes, thank you. I enjoyed it.
Awesome. Well, this will be up on my page, and I'll make sure that you have it as well, to share with all of the great people in your, what is it, your High Vibe Tribe? Is that
the Rising Vibe Tribe?
The Rising Vibe Tribe on Facebook, and I'll put it in my Joyful Vibrant Life self-care circle on Facebook and share it all around, and hopefully people will benefit. I'm sure people will benefit from it and be able to apply some of the things we talked about. So cool. Thank you, everyone, for attending live, those of you who came live and those of you who will watch this in the future. And we look forward to doing some more and sharing some more. So I'm going to sign off.
Bye.
Thank you.